Welcome to the series CyberSec, A Way of Life, brought to you by LnDToday and powered by ARCON TechSolutions. Our leader today is a professional carrying rich industry experience of more than 15 years in networking and information security field. He is currently responsible for leading the IT security and governance practices for Birla Carbon business of Aditya Birla Group, which has a presence across the globe. Please welcome Urvish Acharya, Head, IT Governance and Risk. So, thank you Urvish for joining us today. I'm sure this conversation is going to be a wonderful one.
Thank you, Roshan, for having me here.
Excellent.
My pleasure.
So, Urvish, you've been in the industry for 15 plus years, having worked with really large organizations. Talking about cyber security, right? How do you think it has changed things where we are almost at the fag end of the pandemic? How do you think things have changed?
A lot, Roshan. If I have to give you a very open and very candid answer, a lot has changed. The reason I say a lot has changed because in this last 1.5 years, this pandemic has taught the several large companies, large businesses, to have an importance of the business continuity. I have personally seen that the business continuity of BCP has failed drastically, and more people going online because maybe a year back you were not using your laptop from home as often as you do now, right?
True.
True. And remember endpoints, your laptop, your mobile, the company asset, maybe a tab or something. Remember your endpoint, your laptop, it is connected with unsecured network, right? Your home internet, your broadband, whatever
Multiple
it is.
networks.
Absolutely. True. If you're traveling on the airport, whatever network you connect, it is not your company network, right? So it's unprotected. And imagine that in this 1.5 year, the need of having VPN IDs, having more VPN IDs from the company side has been increased drastically. Okay?
Right.
Why? Because the company wants to ensure that whosoever employee is connecting my organization resources from the unsecured network, at least he is coming from a channelized network, a secured network, so that my resources are protected.
True.
Having said this, there were many industries. Let me give an example of payroll industry. Okay, so say for example, if my company is outsourcing the payroll to some XYZ company outside, right. Look at the security posture, the restrictions they have in the normal conditions. Okay, the employees who is working on a payroll, they are not even allowed to use their mobile phone. Right. Why? Because it's something personal data they are processing with. Maybe it has a date of birth, maybe it has a CTC value and etc. So if somebody clicks the photograph of the pay slip and sends outside, maybe your organization data is leaked.
True.
In the normal situations, they were not even allowed to use a laptop. Okay, they were being given traditionally a desktop, so that the moment the employee goes out, the information stays within the company. They were not being given the internet, they were not being given Gmail, etc. But now, this 1.5 year, everybody has to work from home. Right, so so such companies like payroll companies who were not ready, right, to support the business transactions. So what they had to do, they had to provision thin client to the employees. They had to ship overnight, right? Multiple laptops were imagined, multiple laptops were imaged. They were hardened, they were restricted with the USB, etc. stuff, and they were shipped to the employees, right? So a lot has changed, Roshan, if you ask me, and a lot will change. Okay,
true.
Because of the multiple reasons. One is people are habitual to work from home now. Somebody is working from a tier 3 cities in India. Somebody is probably abroad, right? And they are now habitual. And if you ask them to come to the office, maybe there's a little bit of reluctance, right? So companies still will have to continue securing the network, the resources, the endpoints. What we have done. So a lot has changed. A lot of investment goes in. And it will remain so.
So what that also means is that the cybersecurity challenges and the solutions are continuously on the rise. It's not going to stop ever.
Very much. If you read a lot of articles, Roshan, they were talking about 300 to 400% increase in the cyber attacks.
True.
Globally, okay. Right. You see the Colonial Pipeline attack. You see the other several attacks. Okay. You see the I obviously don't want to name the companies, but you see that the data of the customer has been leaked out on the dark web, right? So obviously it has increased, and with the simple reason, a lot endpoints are going on the internet.
Right.
Yeah. So cybersecurity solutions are also increasing, and that's how it is.
True. In a way, a very interesting time for the cybersecurity industry. True. Now, how are technologies like AI, ML, VR, and the likes of it? How are they impacting the cybersecurity industry, and are they a boon or are they another issue altogether?
A very relevant question, Roshan. See, AI/ML is what? Let's understand.
Right.
First in basic, like talking or working on the large amount of data.
Sure.
Now, when I say the large amount of data, where the data is coming from, understand there are bunch of devices, security solutions, endpoints are connected on your network, right? All of them are emitting the logs. Okay, so if you're mobile, if you're using, it has a log, right? You get a call record. Similarly, if the firewall is blocking or allowing the traffic, it will obviously have the logs, right? Now these logs are in tons, okay, in multiple numbers, thousands, and it is not one format we're talking about. Maybe a firewall is providing a logs in XYZ format, some other IPS is providing a logs in some other format, maybe an EDR solution is providing logs in some other format. Now for a SOC analyst or a security operations center analyst, it is very difficult to deal with all these logs, okay? And we cannot expect the CISO of an organization to work manually on them.
True.
Right? So naturally, to correlate, to provide you a meaningful output, what you use AI/ML. Why? Because it has an ability to correlate the multiple logs
and make sense of it.
Absolutely. So that if I have to work on these logs, I should be aware what is expected from me.
True.
So say for example, just to give an example, if there is a blacklisted IP traveling, okay, so probably it has passed through my perimeter firewall, it has passed through my DMZ, so probably my SIEM or my the AI/ML capability will alert that hey, this is a suspicious behavior which I am seeing on these two devices. But if I take these two disparate logs, then probably it is difficult for me to correlate. So AI/ML is absolutely a boom, I would say.
True.
And with the lot of digitization coming into the picture, it is going to flourish.
Right. So do you think because of it being so amazing, so awesome, does it also hold any kind of threat?
Of course. See, AI/ML, when you talk about it, you have to leverage cloud solutions, right? Okay. So when you say the cloud solutions, it may be public, it may be hybrid, it may be whatever solution you may go for.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you are sending the data onto the cloud. Right? So if it is not secured well, then probably you are giving away more than what you want to.
True.
Right? So that's why it is a little bit of the concern area as well, because I see having a smart fridge. Okay, I have a flexibility to order the milk before it finishes. Right. It's convenient, it's luxury, but what to protect that is also my responsibility, right?
True,
so
true.
Of course.
So who guards the guard?
Exactly.
Is the question.
Very nicely said. Yep.
Interesting. Now, with the whole world coming online, literally, what kind of threats are the most damaging ones, and how do organizations deal with these threats?
Threats are what I would put it in this way is whatever you do, right? You may be expert in protecting your organization, but there are other experts outside whose job is to penetrate the organization, right? They are expert in that. And imagine if you are continue to do what you are doing for years, you will become an expert. Right? So there are cyber attackers, cyber criminals. Their job is to do only this.
True.
And if
they make money off it.
Absolutely. And the job is to do only this, naturally they are expert in that field. True. So whatever or whichever mode or whatever efforts you put it in your organization to protect your environment, they will be still ahead of you.
True.
Okay, for sure. Because it's their business, and there are a lot of government also who are sponsoring that. So so they're funded also.
True.
So threat is obviously the the known unknown, I would say, or unknown known, both. Okay. Because I don't know who is going to attack me, and of course I don't know what the employee who is known to me might carry out some action which may be problematic for me. So threats are two, I would say. My internal employee also, because. Right. See, understand, you might have heard from a lot of leaders saying that the end user or the employee is no more a weakest link in the organization. So, in the information security, there's a golden statement that a human or a person is a strongest as well as the weakest link in the entire information security chain.
Right.
Now, it is no more the weakest. I would say that, and a lot of industry leaders are also echoing the same thing. What I'm saying is they are our strongest link, because they are first line of defense. Right. If you are trained, Okay, if you are aware that what is phishing,
Right.
probably you will be capable enough to respond that threat accordingly. And remember, there is a large distinction between the machine and the person. Person has an ability to think and change the reaction.
Right.
Machine does not have that capability. You put the command and it executes.
That's how it would work,
right?
yeah.
And if you are the same person, if you are a disgruntled person, if the company has taken some action on you, maybe your behavior would change. Right. So that's the two major threats I'm looking for.
Absolutely. Now, MSME sector plays an important role in India. How can they protect themselves from cyber threats? Because typically MSMEs are not really, I'm assuming that focus towards cybersecurity and all that much is not so enhanced. But in spite of that, how can they still protect themselves?
Interesting. Let's talk about a little bit of data. Okay, if you see FY20, if I remember correctly, there was a 19% of increase in the MSME. Okay,
Yeah.
so number of MSME registered, they were right as we speak is 2.5 million.
Right, they were the highest in this
exactly
period.
Right. So a lot of people are coming outside, and like how you rightly said that they are limited on budget.
Right.
Okay, their focus is right now to grow the business.
True.
Okay, not to invest in this in the cybersecurity. Right. Having said this, you may not need, because if you are a smaller company, if you don't have that much intellectual data, you may not need to invest very heavy in building your castle. Okay, or building your protected castle, I would say as. But if you fix your brilliant basics, what do I define as brilliant basics? Okay, is simply the patching. Okay, whatever organization asset you have, maybe server, maybe the network devices, maybe your laptop, is it patched every monthly? Okay, that's something one of the brilliant basics I would look for, and it does not require the large investment. Okay, the second thing I would define as the basic controls on your end user machines. Maybe your USBs are blocked, or maybe your antivirus definitions are updated, or maybe it will be a good idea to invest in the EDR as a solution. Okay, endpoint detection and response solution. It may cover most of it.
All of it. Yeah. Right. So that'll be cost effective.
Of course. You may not see, because MSME, they don't have their own on-prem infrastructure. They generally ride on the cloud, right? And since it's a cloud, maybe your contracts which you are entering with the cloud provider, maybe you put some clauses which covers your security piece also.
True. Interesting. Now, cyber security companies are evolving, but so are the attackers. Like we spoke earlier, how do you think can attackers and the defense and the offense, how much can they be at par?
Yeah. So as I said just 5 minutes back, that attackers, it is their main bread and butter, and they will be ahead of us.
They will always be in the front.
Naturally, and they may be right at their position, but we, at the end of the day, we are responsible for protecting our organization. So a right mix, I would say, the right mix of the technology solution. You as a cyber security professional, you cannot keep on getting the budget to invest more and more technical solutions, right? You have to leverage with what you have. And as I said, if you fix the brilliant basics, then probably you have won the half of the battle. Let me tell you, and that I've seen it. If you protect your data, because data is only the thing which people are interested of, right?
True.
So even if you are attacked with a ransomware, what they want, what they do with the very first place, they attack your data, because if they attack your data, you will not be able to work on it.
True.
Right? They may not be interested in your data, but they make your data in such a way that you will not be able to use it yourself.
Crucial for you and detrimental.
Exactly. So if you fix I'm coming back to my original point. If you fix the brilliant basics, half of the battle is won.
True. Yeah. So in fact, my very next question is on cyber insurance. Right? It's at a pretty nascent stage in India. How do you think it's going to grow in the coming years, or is it going to grow in the coming years?
Very good question, Roshan. I've been, I've been exposed to the cyber insurance since last about 5 years, okay, because we have a global presence.
True.
And if I want to describe in a way that cyber insurance is no more a luxury now, it's a necessity. Okay. There are many cyber, and obviously I'll spend some more time on this topic because it's very important topic. Most of the cyber insurance providers globally, they were giving away the cyber insurance, maybe the $10 million cyber insurance with such a peanut price. Okay, maybe the premium of $50,000 for a year. But now things are changing. Okay, there are and this awareness is also coming into the India. One important thing when you say onboard the cyber insurance is certain words you need to carefully, articulate in your contract. Because if the social engineering is not covered, example, right, in your cyber insurance, probably it may be good for nothing. Why? Because if some employee is phished, right, if somebody has sent you an email and you are an account head and you have transferred $1 million to someone which was not supposed to be, you were targeted with a social engineering attack, right? Now, if that is itself is not covered, what will you claim? Right. So cyber insurance, coming back to your question, is it is very much taking a momentum. In fact, now they are also taking a little more measures. So in fact, I'm not sure how much the audience may be aware, but since I've been working with cyber insurance guys, I have a little bit of exposure there. And before they actually insure, they send you the questionnaire. Okay, and in that questionnaire, they probably ask you the hard questions: that is your organization mobile devices are encrypted? Do you have an EDR as a solution? Right. Maybe if you are governed with the HIPAA, or maybe if you have a presence in European region, do you have a GDPR practices already? Okay, and they may also ask for an artifact, because they also, at the end of the day, they are going to pay you, right? So they want to ensure that the things are placed.
That they're ensuring the right kind of business.
Exactly, and in the event, suppose if you are attacked once and if you have claimed once, see, the game changes. Right, so it's similar to like the health insurance, or it's similar to like life insurance which you have, right?
True.
So health insurance, if you are sick one time, if you have taken the benefit once, probably for the next year your insurance age, right, will be increased.
True.
Right? So it's pretty much the same. But I mean, just cutting long story short, cyber insurance is going to be a way of life, and it's better if we have it on board.
Insurance, true.